today's athlete, they just want to know why, and so it really comes down to like effective coaching is teaching, right? It's having the end goal in mind. Like, this is what I want you to learn.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Dads on Purpose, the podcast. I'm your host, man, Josh Ashford. And as always, got the big homie KB, Mr. Kevin Bergantz. How you doing, bro?
What's up, baby? Hey, y'all, it's almost football time. I'm excited. What's going on?
Yo, for y'all that don't know, of course you're not going to know, but unless you hear it in our voices, we recording this at 8 a.m.
8 a.m., baby, bright and early.
Listen, the kid is tired. The kid is tired because these kids. Well, what Bernie Mac says, like, forgive me, y'all, forgive me. It's like, I'm just saying what you want to say. You can't say it, but never mind. Anyways. Yo, we got my boy, my brother from another mother, Mr. JUCOMade football himself, Dominic, I ain't gonna say his full name, Coach Dom Ellis. What's up, man?
Good morning. How's everybody doing? I don't have as much energy, baby. I don't know if I can do it. I lost my voice in practice. We started fall camp this week.
What'd you grab your voice for? He's just like,
I was hoping. I lost my voice in practice after Tuesday. So
already screaming at
him. Back. Yeah, it's
wait, you so. Because we talked about this before, but you guys, y'all had spring ball, right?
Yes.
So if you have spring ball, you start
a week
your fall camp later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is your first week back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We haven't started school yet, but we started fall camp this week.
Wait, when y'all start school?
Next Wednesday.
You ready?
Yeah.
Well, because you also,
it's gonna happen regardless.
Coach. Oh, sorry. Dominic Ellis, Coach Ellis is the wide receivers coach for Little Elm High School, Lobos, 5A?
6A.
6A? Ooh, okay. Bro, I don't know if I texted you this, but I've been in Northwest ISD all last week. And I was at Eaton High.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, that school.
It's really nice.
Bruh. When you pull up to the back, it looks like a college. It says Student Union on the back of the building, like big old college letters. I'm like, and then we were walking around. And I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." Is that like the new trend? Like, I mean, I know this is Texas and go big or go home, but is that how all of them are? Because isn't Prosper building a new high school too, or is it Ponder?
Prosper. They built a new high school, Rock Hill. That opened up last year.
Is it 6A?
Yes. Another school that, in terms of a beautiful campus, it's a good program. Melissa High School is like that too.
I was about to ask because I know they were. Yeah,
it is beautiful.
Really,
when you drive by it, you just kind of question, is that a high school? They did it right. So
that's the new trend, man, and that's the trend that's always been happening in Houston. Houston, your older schools and stuff. They've just been around forever, but when you got Katy, you got A-Leaf, you got them building new schools, but they're coming in with new innovation,
A-Leaf getting a new school?
Well, A-Leaf has started building new schools, but what my idea is just saying that everything around Houston. So when you're driving into Houston, you're like, dang, what is that? What? But they're building these schools to match what they're building the newer schools to match. And so even when I went down, a month ago to visit my family, I had drove by my old high school and they actually knocked it down to build a newer model of a school. So, hey man, our kids are getting way more than what we've ever had.
Hey, real quick though, I got to do some housekeeping. Dom, I know you're drinking your water. I need you to stop crunching the bottle.
Oh, you can hear that?
Yeah.
That's that coach's.
I gotta get every drop. I got you though. Yeah.
Wait, what, bro? You don't have no coffee, but you don't drink coffee like that.
Nah.
I was about to say.
I'll do like an energy drink or something instead to get the caffeine.
I can't wait till you and Sean. Oh, I can't wait till y'all have kids. I can't wait till y'all have kids. Bruh. like, I need you to feel what I'm feeling right now.
I got a bunch of kids that's
hey man, what
students.
right. Hey man, Josh, tell them what happened, man, because you didn't tell them the full story of the audience. Tell the audience real quick.
Podcast. So I'm not gonna make it as long, but so here's what happened. So usually my 1-year-old wakes up at like 5 a.m. So my wife and I take turns about who's gonna pick her up. So for some reason, I felt something in my soul last night. I was like, the big one. She gonna wake up in the middle of the night. I just felt it. So I go in there. I check her. Long story short, she wanted to come in our room. I let her come in our room. So she gets in the bed, and usually she'll get in the middle of the bed. No, not last. In the bed with my stomach facing the edge of it, and she right on my back. Dada, she's like, turn around. I want to cuddle. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to sleep. I turn around, I'm cuddling, whatever. But my wife eventually gets out of the bed. And then I'm like, yo, Josh, get over in mama's bed. She's like, no.
Like a spider monkey.
To sleep. So that's where I'm at right now.
I love it. Because you know what? I eventually just embraced it. I was like, man, whatever. She gonna wake up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. She gonna come and crawl in the middle of the bed. So I just learned how to sleep in my little spot. Because, you know, believe it or not, Delina and Kendall love to cuddle. So that was just a match made in heaven. There were some days where they didn't want to cuddle, where she didn't want to cuddle, woke up mad and angry. And so for me, it was eventually, like, you know how some people like, you shouldn't have your kids sleep in the bed with you. It was more work and pain on me getting up in the morning, putting her back in the bed, staying up additional 2 to 3 hours for her to fall back to sleep. Then for her to just go ahead and crawl up in the bed. And then eventually she was like, nah, I'm too big. Like, we beating each other up in the bed.
Yeah.
But that's funny. I thought that was hilarious.
First thing, Kev, you have one child. Second thing, your whole family is little. Like, you're all little people.
Nah, bro. No. See, the baby grows, right? So by 5 or 6, nah, bro, you too big. Like, your leg is literally like you're in the middle of the bed, but your leg is hanging on the outside of the bed. Now, you too big. You need to get in your own bed. You need to get in you need to go. So at some point, you outgrow. Like, we all adults sleeping in the bed. It feel like 3 adults sleeping in the bed. Nah.
Yo, now that we done wasted 10 minutes,
my bad.
About these kids. Yo, it's football season, man. I'm excited. I really am excited. Dom, y'all got the first game against my alma mater. We probably gonna lose. It's what we do. I want us to win. Like, you know what? If we can win one game, I would want it to be that rival high school game, but we haven't beat Trinity High School since 97. So like literally 97. I told somebody the other day, I was like, yo, it was 93 when we beat them. And I Googled it and it was 97.
Wow.
I don't know how you still call that a rivalry because there's only 2 high schools in my district.
That's not
every
right.
year it's like, oh, beat Trinity. Bruh. Like, I'm 33. The last time we beat them, I was 6. But anyways, man, I'm excited for football season. Dom, I'm excited to have you here. I don't know if you watched the last episode, but we had Raymond Black on. It's one of Kev's friends, and his son, Caleb Black. He's a wide receiver down at Klein Oak High.
Okay.
Got some scholarships already. He's going in his junior year.
Yeah.
Got some offers from Houston, Tulsa, I think Minnesota, and what was the other one? Kansas.
Yeah,
I think Kansas. So I was like, I mean,
UT.
He ain't even went to his junior year yet, and he already got offers. And I was like, okay, so that was a dope conversation about parents, you know what I'm saying, and athletes. But I was like, I want to have Dom on because, and I know we talked about this before. We talked about it as far as like, what the process looks like on your end, and what does it take? Like, what does it take to get an offer?
Yeah.
Like I know that's a hard question, but what does it take at any level? I mean, D1, D2, D3. I mean, D3, you got to have some money because they ain't giving them no funds.
Academically, though, I mean, on D3.
Yeah. Okay. Well, That's a question with a lot of layers to it because there's never, I'm actually the recruiting coordinator as well for Little Elm High School. Mm-hmm. And so I get that question asked a lot, and there's never like one right answer because every kid has a unique situation. You have some kids that are just, they're blue chippers, they're going to start getting offers probably by the end of their sophomore year, and those kids are put in a different category. Because they kind of peaked really early, as opposed to, we have some kids that are in this 22 class, seniors that they're just starting to get offers. They just started getting offers this summer. The only model I could say how you would like it to be as a program is you really want your athletes to go into the end of their junior year with offers. And then the summer before their senior year, they're just committing to a school. But it doesn't always work like that, especially today with the way college football works with coaching changes. That model is kind of getting phased out in terms of it being feasible or not. So how do you get an offer? I've worked.
I'm trying to look. I don't know what these kids gonna play, but I can. They could play some football to get a full offer or something. Right. They'll put some pads on and kick that ball. Well, Dom, are you hitting your keyboard?
No.
What are you hitting?
I just moved my hand. My hand made my hand graze against my keyboard. But I think the number one way to outside of athletic, like high performance athletics is to have the grades. So a bunch of our seniors now, our senior GPA is like over 3.5 as a team. We've got a bunch of really, really high academic dudes that just are starting to slowly get attention from schools. But what's getting them that attention is their grades. And so schools are like, okay, because understand with COVID, when it came to recruiting, COVID changed everything from a college perspective in terms of how they can recruit because seniors didn't graduate. So seniors got extra eligibility. And so your rosters are essentially full. Like in terms of literally, we're not even talking about scholarships right now. We're talking about like roster space. So now essentially going forward for these next 2 years, like if you don't have grades, because schools now have to get creative and try and find academic money because they can't put you on full scholarship because they don't have full scholarships available. So now they're trying to chop it up, give you a little bit of academic money, a little bit of athletic money, and combine it together.
That's crazy.
So
go ahead, Kev.
Oh,
Kev, turn your mic on.
That was really good. Sorry, Lulu in here making a whole lot of noise, and I was like, let me not break up this. But I think that's really important because I think we have a lot of, and I think about even when I was coming through 99, 90, 98, 97, 2000. Man, seen a lot of great athletes, but didn't get to make it to the next level because of grades. Like, and I think that's really important because I think sometimes we, as parents, we focus on so much on what they're good at, which is football, but we lack on getting them the support and the need that whatever they need academically so that they can at least be academically sound and looking good. So I think that's really important. And I want to ask this real quick question since we're talking about grades, because I know if you're any athlete growing up back in the day, if you was the all-star, you was gonna at least make a B. Like going into like talking about grades and stuff, like is that still something that's happening in the school system where, as long as he's the greatest athlete, they're making it to where he can get through it, or
they're gonna find a way.
Yeah, hey,
before Dom even answers it, I think it depends on where you're at.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because if you like, in Varsity Blues, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna make sure Billy Bob is playing.
Yeah,
they're not gonna. They need Billy Bob on the field to win. But Dom, go ahead. You can answer that. But I know you've coached in a lot of different areas, especially in the DFW era. Because you've been at Carter, you were at McKinney, so now you're at Little Elm. You were at Ojai and Wichita Falls, and so you've seen different regions. I think that's the best way to say it, and kind of how they operate. But yeah, go ahead. You can take that question.
Well, it depends on the district, and it depends on the individual teacher as well, and also depends on the coach. Because I've been in programs where it's like for example, we have, I'm not bragging, Josh, like we have #1 corner in the state of Texas. He's committed to Ohio State, and so I'm not
at what school?
Little one.
Man, I'm gonna have to Google this.
Go ahead. Look up.
Listen,
Terrence Brooks.
Dom be lying, man. He be lying about his players, man. He be lying about his players.
They 5'10", they 5'10", but he said they 6'3".
He's a recruiting coordinator, and you know what I'm saying, he got to pub his guys up, and you got to get offers. You know what I'm saying? I saw you got a couple guys that looked at Navy. I was like, or was it? No, it was Air Force.
Air Force. I got a receiver commit to Air Force.
Yeah, so I mean, but don't be lying, man.
Come on, we got this. Tell the truth. Tell the true height and weight. Tell the true height and weight.
He's Terrence Brooks. Just Google him, Terrence Brooks. But to answer the question though, so if I coach receivers, but if I had to coach Terrence Brooks, like if I coach DBs, like it's my responsibility to we monitor grades, of our position. And we progress report and everything. So now in today's world, like head coaches can put on that position coach, like if that kid needs to play, and so you need to catch those hiccups in the classroom, catch them early, because if he's ineligible after 6 weeks, I'm coming after you first. Yeah, that's your responsibility to make sure if he's messed up in a class, go talk to his teacher and let's figure out how we can get him caught up. So that it kind of falls on the position coach now. The head coach is going to mandate that as a position coach, you need to keep those dudes that get us hired and fired. We need to make sure they play on Friday night and they're UIL eligible. So
it seems like it's almost like a college idea, because when they get into college, it's like you got your tutoring, like you have to be with your tutoring group. You got to make sure you got your people following you, making sure you staying out of trouble. And so that's I never looked at it that way. Well, I guess because I was one of those middle grade students, didn't have nobody. Hey, make sure you turn in your work.
So was I.
I was a 2.7 guy.
That's higher than I was. So.
Right.
Yeah. More power to you. Yeah, more power to you.
Man, I forgot my question, but it was something along the lines of like
recruiting.
No, but I mean, like the head coach is coming for you, but I'm like, whose fault is it, right? And then the other part of the question was, what is because I know in the Bobby Bowdens, the Joe Paternos, the Steve Spurriers, the guys that are there for 30 years, they're gone. Like that's not the thing anymore. Now Dabo and Nick Saban, they're anomalies because they win. But like I know in college football, like they'll sign a 4-year contract, but like if you're not winning after year 2, like they'll let you go. Is that the same thing in the high school landscape right now? Especially in Texas where football is king. It's like, you got to win.
Well, now, in Texas, they have what's called a dual contract. And so you sign a contract as a teacher and as a coach. And only 85% of your salary comes from what's in the building. So you need to make sure that, you're doing your job in the classroom. And at least you're at that administration likes what you're doing. But you signed a dual contract. So they actually got rid of that, or they got rid of the idea that, you can just get fired on spot as a coach. You have to get fired. To be honest with you, got to get fired in the building beforehand.
Now, I remember that, bro, because when you were looking and interviewing, you would tell me like, yo, you got to interview with the admin first. You know what I'm saying? Like you and the coach would be like, yo, that's your boy. But like, okay, are you in the admin vibing because you still got to teach? I forgot all about that, man. Like, I don't know why. I mean, you think about coaches, and I know the head coach is the only one that's just like football free. Everybody else, hey, bro, I need you to go teach geometry. I need you to go teach math. And what you teaching? History?
Economics and government.
Nice.
Is that history?
Oh yeah, it's under social studies. It falls under that social studies umbrella.
Bruh, don't complicate it. Like, just Yeah, economics and government and social studies. Bro, is that history? Like, yeah.
It is.
It sounds like it could be business. I don't know.
Yeah. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
He didn't make me forget my whole train of thought.
I think it's great because I know we're talking about high athletes and going to college, but what about like, because I don't know what's happening in the makeup of and we talked to Raymond a little bit about AAU and, you know, how's that making an effect? Well, I did notice even when I went back for my homecoming, I'm like, dude, where are the athletes? Like, where are, you know, and coach was talking to him. He was like, man, you can't even scream at them. They start crying. Like, what is the makeup of the new athlete coming in? What are you guys looking for in athletes? And like, I'm just thinking, I'm a youth pastor, right? So I'm just thinking, how do you get from middle school to high school with the opportunity? Does it make sense to play and to get good looks?
Well,
that was a loaded question, but
you can't scream at him. Look, you can't scream at him.
But you know, okay, so today's athlete, you know, they just want to know why, you know, and so it really comes down to like effective coaching is teaching, right? It's having the end goal in mind, like this is what I want you to learn, and then you have to like let them know, like it's like you have to let them know, like, okay, at the end of it's like being in the classroom, like at the end of this lesson, you're gonna understand how to beat press coverage. Okay. Now, how are we gonna get to beating press coverage today? We're gonna learn how to work on our stance and start, you know, where do we place our hands, the angles we're taking, you know, and they want to know those steps. They want to know those steps. Because if you go there and just say, all right, we're gonna be press coverage, line it up, blow the whistle, they're gonna say, why? They're literally gonna say why. And so you gotta break it down. You gotta always start with the end goal in mind and let them know this is what we're trying to get to. And that actually is on their mind, you know, as they're working towards that. So so to answer that question, next one now.
That was a good answer though. That was
a really good answer.
I didn't think that's how like athletes, because you see what the media puts on, and it's just like they have this mentality that like, oh, today's athlete is soft, but in reality, I mean, they're kids, and they're like my kid, my 2-year-old. Like, well, why? Well, because this is why. Oh, okay, let's roll.
And then you could. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's beyond, you know, the old school approach was, well, because I told you to do it.
Yeah.
It's like parenting.
and you can still be, you can still like be that authoritative figure. But to be honest with you, if they understand like your intentions on why you're trying to teach it to them, they're gonna try. Now they're gonna mess it up because they're kids, you know, they're gonna mess it up. Yeah. But they're trying to do it. They're trying to do it how you told them to do it. So that's all you can do is just, you know, it's just kind of just encourage them to just, hey, as long as you're trying, I'm gonna work with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
what was the other question?
Now from middle school to just that transition, man, it's so like that right there. You know, it depends on the district you're in, the area you're in, because to be honest with you, you know, there are a lot of schools, districts that have advantages over other school districts. Like, I mean, from the northern part of Dallas to the southern part, based off of access to resources. And you know, and you have that move where, you know, parents are like, man, I need to get my kid up in this area because, you know, because the resources. So, I mean, from elementary, you know, you're thinking long term, like, I want my kid to grow within this school district and everything around it. So it sucks because it takes away oftentimes from a lot of inner city schools, you know, the talent. Because I can tell you right now, it's a bunch of dudes like when I was coaching at the college level and I was working camps, it was straight up schools like kids like I'm not going to say the school he was at. He's in college now, but I'm saying, but this kid was supposed to go to Mesquite ISD, and he went when I worked camps for University of Oklahoma. He came 2 years in a row, him and his buddy. And they were in junior high at the time, and they were killing it. They were like those young kids you can tell. They're going to be dudes. Yeah, they're both playing Power 5 football right now. One in the Big Ten, one in the SEC, or one in the Big Ten, one in the Big 12. And But these kids were supposed to go to Mesquite ISD. They're supposed to go to Mesquite High School. And somehow they ended up, up north. I'll just leave it at that. But because I remember the name, and I didn't remember the name until the senior year, and I saw his face, and I was like, man, that kid used to come to the camps. How did he end up at this? How did he end up at this school in this suburban wealthy school in North Dallas
with the big stadium that cracked?
Yeah. He was supposed to go to Mesquite High
School. Yeah.
So I'll just leave it at that.
So that's still like, even from the last conversation we had with our last guest, is that's still an issue. Like, so even though that your athlete, you got great athletes in your community, but they're going off somewhere else because of the resources and the time. What's the word I want to use?
I was about to say, let me let you think about it, because I got a question.
Yeah.
Because I want to know, how are you guys dealing with, because we talked about this with Raymond, with the whole the NIL and things like that, kids getting paid in college for their name, their image and likeness and things like that. But then, Dom, I know we talked about it, and you and your coaches talked about the kid from South Lake. Like, my man was like, yo, I'm done. Like, 7-figure checks, I'm gone. And I was like, yo, how do you coach that? Like, how's a coach? How do you deal with that? Because it's coming to the high school level. Like, I don't know how the UIL is going to stop it, but if we keep seeing high performing athletes like that, and you think about it, if you get, so this kid was from South Lake. I don't know if he was originally from South Lake, but he was at South Lake when he got picked up. But if you start seeing, kids from the hood, from Skyline, what I'm saying, from OD Wyatt and stuff like that, and they build up a social media presence, and now they're getting offers to skip their senior year. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they're in the grade standpoint to do that, but if that happens, they're gonna have to do something. Like, the UIL is gonna have to figure out something. But, like, how do you coach that to deal with that? Because I mean, you just started doing it. Like, this is this year, like day one.
You can't, and it's only an upper echelon of kids that are actually going to have that opportunity. First and foremost, that kid from South Lake was graduating high school early. He was in a position to graduate high school early, and so the media is flipping it and spinning it as, oh well, this kid's skipping his senior year. Like, he had the opportunity to do that with or without the NIL.
Yeah,
it's no different than a kid graduating high school early. Because what Ohio State's promising him, Ohio State isn't saying that they're promising him like, oh well, 100% guaranteed you come to Ohio State, and you can cash in on all this NIL money. They're selling him potential. They're saying you could potentially, like, if you become Ohio State quarterback, like, this can happen. But that's not even what they sold him on. They sold him on coming there early, graduating early, and coming in there competing for a starting job. It's no different than how many kids do they sell that say that to. And over the last 2-3 years, if you look at the trend, there have been a bunch of kids that graduated high school early and enrolled for spring ball, especially at that quarterback position, because they had an opportunity to play early.
So I'm about to say, it seemed like USC every year their kid is graduating early and then don't do nothing. But that's a whole different.
and to be honest with you, that kid's talented. But that's how I felt. I'm like, I've had conversation. We have conversation about this, Josh, and I have conversation with other people, and I don't care how good he is in high school, especially as a 16-year-old kid coming out. And I'm not knocking that kid. He's talented. But I'm just like, there's no way you're going to come in. But, you got to sell the dream to the kid. There's no way you're going to come in and beat out 2 redshirt quarterbacks that have been there in that program, 20 years old for at least 2 years. You might be really good, but, man, that's tough. That's a tough gap. As a 16-year-old kid to come in, that's a tough gap to.
I love what you just said, because I don't think what we realized, because my question was going to be, what does it take to work up my athleticism to be that elite athlete? Because that's one of the things that I learned transitioning from high school to college was, bulk up from high school to college is real. Like, these dudes then gained another 20 pounds, and so just to be realistically thinking, like, I'm going to come straight out of high school into the college atmosphere and run something. Bro, Castle was the linebacker at North Texas when I got to North Texas. I wasn't going to let that dude hit me in practice. in practice, when I actually seen him in person and how built and stuff, and I was running back in practice. He was like, "Bro, stop tipping through the hole." I was like, "Bro, you're not gonna hit me, man. Like you're huge." Yeah. Like, so I think that what when you have a high school athlete, because I heard this all the time. Y'all need to go to the weight room. Go to the weight room after practice. Go to the weight room. Yeah. Go to the weight room. And I did all of my weight training during the summer. So I was really dedicated in the summer because I knew my work ethic during the school year sucked. So what can you give to these athletes who may have the potential as a quarterback, but they're not doing a weightlifting, they're not nutrition, they're not, studying other players in their position? Like, what encouragement can you give them to be developed and ready for a college career?
Man, you get out what you put into it. I mean, it's that simple. And like college athletics is a business. And the saying is, once they sign you, they're already looking for your replacement. And so you have to really like be serious about like being able to keep up, because if you can't keep up, like you're not going to last. It's a machine that's going to eat you up. Yeah. And so, and it's strictly performance based. It has nothing to do with emotion. You could be the nicest kid in the world. You have the nicest family in the world. Like, yo, if you don't put these numbers up, I'm gonna go find somebody. There's somebody else out there, same size, same height as you, same weight, look just like you.
He ain't got hands like me,
but that can put up like what I'm looking for. Yeah. And so these kids got to understand, it was some kids don't like to work out in the summer. They don't like to run, but when you get to college, like you're going to get passed up. Like that's just what's going to happen. Like, so that's the biggest thing. Like you got to make sure that you're keeping up and you're able to perform.
That's good. I like that.
I do too, man.
That's nothing more.
I'm flashing back because Kev, you had said something talking about, when saying you had that all-star, he was like, I'm not about to tackle you. I had a flashback to middle school. There was this dude, Damian Pitts. I played corner in high school, and I don't remember why, and Damian is like, when I remember him, is like, and I wasn't little. Yeah. But Damian was like 6'3", probably wasn't 6'3", he was probably like 6'1".
But he felt like he was 6'3".
Like 6'1", 205 in middle school as a running back. And I remember being at practice, and I'll never forget it. The homie Trey Welch, little white dude, like Trey Welch sounds like a white guy's name. That's what I mean. Damian came through the hole, right through the A gap, and they went head up, and I watched Trey get a concussion, and then I watched Damian score a touchdown through practice, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. Bro, like I ain't no punk. Yeah, you're not just about to run me over.
Exactly.
I think I realized, I was like, this is not gonna get any easier.
It's a grown man.
Here's the thing. I don't like getting hit. I love playing football, but I don't like getting hit. Like that's why I didn't like playing on defense, because I don't know where you're going. Like, but then I didn't like playing offense because I don't really want to come over the middle. So that's why I didn't play football. Because it's all good. I'm not trying to. I don't want to give. Bro, they taking your legs out. I'm good. I'm not. Anyways, call me a punk. I got time today. Hey, y'all on internet land, call me a punk. What was you about to say?
It's always after the first hit, though. Once you get the first one out of your system, you're like, okay, I'm good. Let's go. But it's the first one. After you get the first one, you good, man. Dom.
What's up?
What encouragement do you have for parents? Like, I got a 13-year-old, and my goal. Well, she turns 13 next week.
Yeah, I was about to say she ain't 13 yet.
She's 12. But just like any parent, I want to make sure I get behind my kid, that I believe in my kid's dreams and goals, that I do everything that I could possibly do to make sure that they, are successful, and be realistic. Okay, I'm gonna add that into that and be realistic. Like, what encouragement do you have for parents who are parents of athletes, student athletes, to make sure that they're giving their kids the best opportunity to be a good athlete?
Definitely is like, let them pick what they want to do. You know, I think that it starts there. You know, there are kids that do stuff because their parents want them to do it, like especially with sports. Let them pick what they want to do. And then once they figure out what they want to do, you know, like just support them. And when it comes to like, you know, multi-sports, they should play everything. They really should try everything out before they specialize, because specialization just kills the athlete. It kills, you know, physically. Wow. It just wears them out. Absolutely. You know, and it limits their actual ability. So, you know, they might project to be, like, your daughter might project to be a volleyball or basketball player and might have opportunity to play at the college level. But, you know, so it's important that she does that. She plays those sports, but, you know, she should be doing some multiple things year round just to work her body out in different ways. You know, she could have a main sport, but she can do other things as well. And I think that's important to just, you know, support them in the sport that they want to play, but also encourage them as well. Hey, in the off season, you could try golf, try track, try, you know, do various
golf
things.
Is expensive.
Putt, you know.
Look, we got a tennis court in our neighborhood, and we drove by it the other day, and Erica was like, "Oh, you want the kids to play tennis?" I was like, "No, like, bro. First of all, tennis costs a lot, which it costs what it costs. But second of all, it's outside.
Yeah, hey man, if your kids want to go play tennis, you go get you an umbrella, get you a lawn chair, and you go sit there and watch them play tennis.
If I don't introduce it to them, they can't.
They go find out, bro. They go figure it out. Man.
You know what?
That's one of the things I learned about Kendall. Some things we've never exposed her to, and she'll come back and be like, "Yo, I want to do this," and we be like, "How did you figure out about that?" And it's like, dude,
we got the internet, so like kids are like watch. They just, you know what I'm saying, they watch what they want to watch. But then too, expect, depending on where they're at, you know, you get exposed to, you know, kids. So I live in Highland Village. My kids are going to be exposed to different sports than the kids that are, you know what I'm saying, that are in South Oak Cliff. Like the kids in South Oak Cliff probably aren't going to be naturally exposed to the amount of sports or activities that my kids are going to be exposed to, which sucks. But they're gonna, man, I don't know.
But I think that's also a choice, right? Because for me, I was like, I'm not just gonna automatically put Kendall in basketball. I'm not gonna automatically put Kendall in soccer. I'm not gonna automatically. Now I will automatically put her in swimming. If I can find a lacrosse, we go get into some lacrosse, you know. If I can find rowing, we're gonna put her into rowing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just things like that. And then we talked about, you mentioned that golf is expensive, but we have programs like the First Tee. First Tee is actually targeted towards low income families. And we also just have a new, Dom, we have a new organization in South Dallas that is Black owned, Black established, where they're focusing on spreading golf, just like the First Tee, but they're actually being specifically targeting Black African American men. So there's things, and that's one of the things that when I talk about sports, and especially the African American Latino community, like we have to think outside of the box, because I think sometimes we don't go out there because it's not available. Does it make sense? But I know every child has been through high school, has experienced something outside of that, and we have to expose our kids to it. And I think, bro, you could get a college. You could go to college rowing a boat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
I mean, it's not really a boat, but
whatever. But still, you can go to college doing it. Like, you know, it's things like that.
I mean, we live right next to the lake. So go ahead, put your little bicycle, your little trailer, and pedal down to the lake. Go ahead, back it in, and go get your row on.
Watch this, and your guys going back to NCAT to play golf. You know.
Oh yeah, J.R. Smith.
Yeah, J.R. Smith is going back to college, so he could just play. So he could play golf, be on the golf club. Like, there's
J.R. Smith, Mr. I ain't passed the ball.
He's waiting on eligibility right now.
He really is actually. Yeah.
Yep. And they say he cold. They say he real cold. But I'm just saying, like,
real old.
Yeah, that too. But hey, it's golf. Like, and that's what I think.
Bro, I mean, I know you're making a point, but these golf kids in high school, what is going on? Who is that? Is that Kendall?
What that? No, that's Delina making fun of me.
What's she doing?
She looked at me and I was like, why are you looking at me like that?
I'm looking at you. You looking at me. I'm looking at you.
My bad.
I was like, but no, I forgot my whole point. Oh no, but these high school golf athletes, bro, these kids are so, I mean, where I live is one of the top golf high school teams in the state. And so I see, and I know some of the parents that have their kids, and I'm like, yo, y'all are really like crushing. And so we'll have like community nonprofit golf tournaments and things like that. And what we'll do is we'll have the high school kids come out and like, it'll be like one hole, and it'd be like, hey, if you guys donate so much, you can have the high school kids drive for you. And you got high school kids driving 350. And you get, this big old burly man that's been golfing for 40 years. And he can't drive 250 straight, but it's just phenomenal. Like
Tiger Woods changed the game too. So now you're telling these younger athletes to lift weights and then that's what I'm saying. Like these younger kids can get into these sports that they haven't been exposed to and just dominate, bro. And they're not getting the opportunity to do that.
No, but hey, we about to get out of here, man. Dom, I need to know you got to go do things. Dom, you said something already for the kids, but one last word of wisdom for these athletes, or not even athletes, or for parents or things like that. Something that you would like to say as a coach to whoever, whether that's the athletes or whether that's the parents.
Just stop stressing. Stop stressing. Actually, enjoy this time. Enjoy these years that you're playing high school sports. As long as you take care of your grades. And you're doing everything that you can do on the field and the court, it's going to work itself out. There's so many opportunities outside of Power 5 football, which everyone only focuses on. There's 635 other schools that play football on Saturdays. Someone's gonna find you. And social media today, you can go out and find coaches that will recruit you, and that you'll find the right fit that you can play for. Stop forcing stuff.
Our boy, wow. Good. Kev, what you got?
Dude, he stopped forcing it, man. One thing that I have that I really like that Dom said is, man, there's tons of schools out there. There's HBCUs that are looking for great athletes and actually the money is coming in for them. So there's like, just for me, I'm talking to athletes and parents. Do not limit yourself to the Big 10, to the Big 12, to the big, like there are colleges that are good fits for you and your student in order for them to succeed in life. And like I tell anybody, even if football is the only thing that you want to do, there's a coach, there's an athletic director, there's a facilities person. There's so much to the business of athletics outside of just the person that coaches and the person that plays. I would encourage every athlete and every parent to learn more than just the players' positions. Yes. That's all I got, bro.
Yo, Kev, you said something right before we get out of here, though, and I think that's like the key in any business aspect. You said there's so many different aspects of football, and if football's what you want to do, if football's what you love, the way you get paid is you make yourself valuable. You add value. And so if you want to play football and your only way that you can add value is by you playing, well, you're not adding as much value as if you can coach or if you know how to tape somebody up. So the more tools you got in your tool belt, the easier it is for you to build a house. That's all I'm trying to say. And what y'all need to do to help us build this podcast house is like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast. Man, we love you guys. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Man, share this with 3 people, 1, 2, 3, and have a great week. We love you. See y'all next week. Take care. Peace.